Hi, it's Vicky here and welcome to another video. Today I'll be making a Christmas card and it's a 4¼ by 5½ standard card. So I'm just cutting down my cardstock and scoring using my Martha Stewart scoring board. And now that my card base is ready, let's go on to the stamp set I'll be using today. This is Christmas Express by the Alleyway Stamp. It's such a cute little stamp set. I love the little trains there. And I will also be using this paper pad by My Mind's Eye. It's called The Merry Days of Christmas and it's from the last year's collection. So I've just chosen the pattern papers I'll be using. I'm cutting down this pattern paper to 4¼ by 5½ and this is going to cover the whole card base, as you can see here. So let's go on to the bluish pattern paper. I'm just cutting it down to, I believe that's 1½ by 5½. And now I'm using this curved die by Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just cutting down some white cardstock, and all these curves that I'm cutting down are going to be used on my scene as snow. So I'm passing it through my Cuttlebug and just created a couple of curves there. And now that my ground is ready, I'm going to cut it down. Use my ATG gun on the back and just glue it down on the blue pattern paper. And that's a very easy way to create the ground. So now that my ground is full of snow, it's time to add some trees also. But first I'll use my scissors and cut off whatever sticks out. And now from this pattern paper I'm going to cut down a couple of trees. The trees are already printed on the pattern paper, so it's very easy to cut them off. I'm not going to cut the little stars on top, I'll just go for the green trees. So I've cut it out 4 of them, and now I'm just looking for some pattern paper to paper piece the little train. I've chosen this red one that goes perfectly with my background paper, and I'm just cutting down the wagons. So after stamping all the wagons, I'm using my scissors to cut them out. Today I'm crafting with my little boy. He's just sitting next to me, and you might see his hands coloring or stamping, and he even plays with his little car on the top of my craft desk. At first I stamped the engine on green pattern paper, but then as you can see later on, I didn't use that idea. I went only for red wagons and the train engine. So now I'm just gluing down my scene on top of the card base, and I'm going to glue the trees. And guess what? I couldn't find my tape runner, the small tape runner that I had, and that's the only reason I'm using the huge ATG gun to glue down those little tiny trees. And now that the tiny trees are in place, it's time to place the train. And since I love dimension, I'm going to use foam squares on the back of the little wagons as well as the train engine. And I'm not going to glue down the train in the middle of my card. I always like to add things a bit offset, so that's why this is not centered. And now that everything is in place, I decided to add one more small detail. You know I love details on my cards. And now I'm stamping the engine on the blue paper, cutting out the window using my scissors, and I will paper piece this little blue window on top of the red engine that I already have glued on my card. And that's the card almost done. I just need to add a few small details. These are candy cans. I've used one of the stamps included in the stamp set, and then I cut them out. And all I'm doing now is using my white gel pen to color them out. And while I do that, just to remind you that you can find all the supplies listed below my video on YouTube. You just have to expand the details area, or if you are watching on my blog, you can find a list of all the supplies just below the video. Now I'm using liquid glue, and I'm adding these candy canes on top of the little wagons. And just because I've used foam squares on the train, now it's very easy to stick the candy canes behind the train. And just because I can go on and on while making a card to adding little details here and there, I'm just adding those small gems on the wheels. The gems come in different sizes, so as you can see here, I'm using the size that matches each wheel. This is a Christmas card that you're definitely not going to replicate. I make tons of cards for Christmas, and some of them are very easy to replicate, so I can make a bunch of them quick and easy to send them out. But there are cards like 10 or 15 of them that I'm sending out to very special people, and this is definitely one of those special cards. On this card I'm not going to stamp a sentiment, just because the background paper I've chosen is full of wishes and holiday sayings. I believe that it's too much to add a sentiment, but I thought that it needed a border, so I'm just using a white sticker strip at the top and at the bottom of my panel to finish off my card. And that's the card for today. I hope you had fun and got inspired. And if you love my videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!